Hey guys, it's Lindsay. We're going to do your mini Gemini reading. As always, if any of these messages don't land for you, please take only what you need and leave the rest. This is a group reading. If you would like a personal reading, you can check out the links. Okay. I just got this phrase, above it all, above it all. So we have the Hermit here, Gemini, right? And I'm getting this phrase come in, above it all, where you're coming at things right now from a very intellectual perspective, which is typical of air signs, right? But it's almost like you are feeling not only that you are above it all, but you're viewing it from a point of view that is above it all. And the way that this is coming in is very much the way that you process things normally, and that's fine. But part of this is a little bit of a protective mechanism, okay? So there's a specific relationship and or event that's coming through, something that you're dealing with right now, where you're kind of coming from this stance of being above it, right, intellectually, and you know, kind of in this hermit mode where you're not actively engaging with this situation or this person. So it's this tendency that you have to use your mind to protect yourself, right? And that's something I see as another air sign, right? So using the logic to protect yourself within this situation. And for some of you, this may actually be like a love connection, is the way it's coming in, is like both intellectually and emotionally kind of pulling yourself back and looking at it from a logical perspective, but also not allowing yourself to emotionally transmit that connection and whatever's happening in that connection that's difficult, right? So the way this is coming through is like kind of getting down and dirty, right? Like it's really about getting back into your body, Gemini, okay? Because if you're spending too long in the head, you're not actually transmitting any of the energy that you need to transmit in order to move on to the next phase, okay? You're trying to solve it from here, where right now the body is like the solution, okay? So part of the way this is coming in is very much, especially if it's in a relationship, getting into, for some of you, it may actually look like counseling or therapy, but it's like actually sharing your feelings. And if you can no longer share your feelings, finding a way of physically transmuting, okay? So like, again, this looks like exercise, this looks like going out and about, this looks like getting out of your head and into your body in whatever way that looks for you. There's also something, because you're going through a death and rebirth cycle, okay? There's also something specifically around you deconstructing your patterning right now, okay? I had another reading like this, Gemini, that was very similar. I can't remember which reading it was, but it's a deconstructing your patterning around how you handle things, okay? And recognizing the way in which it may not be healthy, okay? And it's interesting though, because part of the way this is coming in is really about not only deconstructing your patterning and getting out of your head, but also really needing to try something new and do something different, okay? Because I feel like you're looking for this solution, and I swear to God, I had a similar reading like this. You're looking for this solution for this thing, and it's really, it's almost right in front of you, okay? But like, you have to get yourself out of the way, okay? So you have to break yourself out of the box and do something different, do something crazy. So for many of you, this actually looks like going out and putting yourself among people, whether that's like taking a class, whether that's just going out in like social aspect, but like really doing something that's kind of like different for you, right? Something that's atypical and that's gonna be able to allow you to kind of break out of that mind box that you have, right? Where it's like, this is how you handle this stuff, and this is how you move forward, and you're really up leveling at this time. So you're changing like on a physiological level, and in order for you to hold the capacity, in order for you to be able to open to the next phase of your life, you really have to start breaking down those boxes, right? So you can only hold, when you're in the box, you can only hold like what's in the box, right? So like we have, like I have my little tarot deck here, right? So this is your box, right? You're in this box, and the box can only hold this, right? But all of this is around the box and you need to break this down in order to be able to hold all of this, okay? And that's part of this challenge that's coming in for you, Gemini, at this time around your birthday month, is really that up leveling and recognizing that for what it is, and getting down and dirty, and like really physically breaking through everything that's holding you back as far as your patterning, right? Okay. And for some of you, the way this is coming through is like you actually may have to walk away from this situation, and I think you already know this, and I think that's why you've been spending so much time thinking about it over and over and over again, is because you've come to the realization that you actually have to walk away from this situation, okay? And it's not going to help you in that next level either, right? Because sometimes relationships can be like boxes, okay? Sometimes you're not blooming in that relationship, and you just have to break down that box and move on, okay? And for many of you, that's what I'm getting, is like this relationship, this friendship, this connection that you're working through and trying to solve from your mind is actually the box that needs to be broken down so you can move, okay? And it's going to be different for everyone, so just use your best judgment if that's kind of the realization. If this is an affirmation for you, that this is, you know, true for you, then, you know, do what you need to do in order to move on, okay? Anything else coming through? Yeah, because you're walking towards, like, you're walking away from like this burning top, but you're like literally walking towards the sunlight, if you see. So it's going to be a much lighter energy in your birthday season, but it's required on the choices that you make now, right? So the choice to actively look at your patterns and deconstruct them, the choice to like get a little messy and do what you need to do, and also the choice to get out of your box, okay? Because the hermit mode is no longer serving you, and like that's like a huge wake-up call, right? Like there's only so long you can be in hermit mode. Like you have to get out and be around other people and just engage with other people, okay? Anything else coming through for Gemini during their birthday month? And this is just a mini reading, guys, so like if you want the full year reading for Gemini, I do have those in my deep dive playlist, so make sure to check that out. And then I do obviously the monthly like air sign videos, so check those out too. Gemini, anything else? Oh, this is crazy. Okay, hang on. Because we're talking about relationship, we're talking about leaving relationship, and the way this is coming in is actually, for many of you, when you leave, that sun that you're walking towards is actually a more aligned relationship for you, okay? So you're moving towards this alignment, okay? But it's recognizing what is not aligned for you. And some of you, it actually has to do with, I don't know, like maybe a water sign, because I keep being drawn to the water. So if you notice, it kind of looks like this bowl of fire is in water, right? And there's the 2 cups, obviously, both water. So I feel for like a couple of you, this is actually a water sign, which is interesting, you know, because air signs tend to be like the emotionless ones. As an air sign, I'm saying this. And water signs tend to be full of emotions. So it's kind of an interesting pairing. I'm hearing Pisces for some of you, actually. So you may be walking out of one relationship and walking into another. So take your time with this one, because part of it is really like the way it's coming through is connecting with the newness, the new person, the new version of yourself, the new pattern that, like, you know, is going to assist you in this next phase of your life, okay? Let's see what else is coming in for Gemini during their birthday period. Anything else? There's also something with the fluctuation of your emotions, okay, Gemini? Like, also, you know, we're stepping away from making everything logical, making your emotions logical. But the other thing is being able to ride the up and down of your emotions too, because I'm getting that really interesting, like, balancing energy, which, you know, like, I kind of see it as like a yin and yang kind of thing, but it's that progression of the up and down and finding the balance, okay? And for the way this is coming through is specifically for female viewers. You know, if you have emotional ups and downs during your cycle or anything like that, that's the way it's coming through, is kind of learning and acknowledging that, okay? And one of the ways it's coming through specifically, and this is also pattern breaking too, is recognizing, like, taking your dates, making your notes, and being like, I'm feeling like this on this day, I'm feeling like this on this day, and like making the logical connection on, you know, oh, okay, I'm here in my cycle, or I'm here in my cycle. So that's really coming in strongly, is like, by noticing the patterning of your emotions, you're actually able to break down the boxes around why you're having these ups and downs, right? Okay. Anything else coming in for Gemini? There's also this really kind of fleeting chance. And that actually may be this situation, as we were talking about some of you walking towards a relationship. What I'm getting is, when I look at the death and rebirth, I'm looking at this like veil that's over here that's kind of like flying by really quickly, if you notice that, and that's giving like a fleeting chance encounter, okay? So for some of you, this romantic connection may not be like for sure, but the way it's coming in is like a fleeting chance encounter. And it's again, you doing something out of the ordinary, because you're not going to have a fleeting chance encounter if you're here, right? Who are you going to encounter in your four walls? Like, who are you going to encounter in your box? You're not like yourself. Again and again, you're just going to keep encountering yourself. But if you get yourself up and out and do the out of the ordinary thing, you have this fleeting chance encounter, the Two of Cups, which Two of Cups is the other love and relationship sign, is the way it's coming in Gemini. But you gotta like take the chance, is the way it's coming through, okay? Anything else coming through for Gemini now? And it does feel a little bit like you're grasping at this person, like as they're moving by, like you just go and catch them, right? That's kind of like the whole thing. And there's definitely something there. It does feel like for some of you it's not going to be like a long relationship, but there's definitely something interesting there energetically for you. And again, like I read like 3 to 5 months, but for many of you, I feel like this will occur, you know, by the end of the summer months, okay? So this kind of like fleeting chance at relationship, okay, which can be really fun and interesting, okay? Anything else for Gemini as we close out? Yeah, you're doing a lot of deconstructing, Gemini, and not from the mind anymore, from the physical body, and that's going to give you opportunities that you otherwise would not have before. And that's really kind of the gist of this reading. So if this reading was helpful for you, if it was useful, you know, you can comment, like, subscribe, whatever. My name is Lindsey Rose. This is Storyteller Tarot, and I wish you guys well.